So there's been a lot in the media lately about a range of different issues that affect black people, but I decided I wanted to talk about one issue that's prevalent to here in the UK. So basically, there's a woman whose son goes to a Catholic school and he has dreadlocks because the family are Rastafarian. And basically, what's happened is the school have said that unless he cuts his hair, then he can no longer attend the school, which is strange to me because I don't really understand the concept of a person's hair defining what knowledge you're gonna gain from school. Don't you go to school to have an education? Do you not go to school to learn things? So how is your hair a distraction, and B, how does it affect anything? I really do not understand this foolishness. So basically the mother has said now she's going to sue the school, and that's all well and good, yeah. But it's funny to me because when I was reading on the Voice online yesterday, some of the comments were saying that they read the school's hair policy for 2013 and 2014, and apparently it's only 2015 and 2016, and there was no mention of dreadlocks being banned. But it's only since apparently this new headmaster's been taken over this year that they've basically said, well, no, now dreadlocks are no longer allowed. So it's either he cuts his hair or he can't go to the school. So now she's considering suing the school, legal action. And I completely agree with her. I mean, to be honest, you read so many stories like this in the media, in the newspaper, Daily Mail, Voice Online, Independent, of black children being banned from school for the hairstyles that are within our culture, such as box braids, dreadlocks, certain hairstyles that are part of our culture. We are being discriminated against for it. And this is the thing why cultural appropriation really pisses me off, because at the end of the day, you cannot tell someone that they're not allowed to talk about cultural appropriation, and everyone's talking about cultural appropriation and saying that it's not really a thing. But the funny thing is, yes, if you're a white person, you want to put box braids in your hair, that's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, if you're not being discriminated against for doing that, then you really cannot have any understanding of why we black people are so against it. It's not that you have that hairstyle, it's the simple fact that you do not suffer the same consequences that we do. I mean, even talking about in employment, there are certain hairstyles that black women aren't allowed to have because it's called being unkept. I mean, even our natural hair is a problem. I mean, let's talk about it logically, yeah. This whole natural hair is relaxed debate, or women wearing weaves and wigs. Sometimes they're wearing these weaves and wigs because they don't want to show the natural hair, because their natural hair is shown as unkept and unneat, and it's not acceptable. It doesn't look good to these white employers. So we cover our hair up. But I'm like, there is only so much we can take. There is only so many times we're gonna be covering up. There is only so much times we're gonna be covering up our hair, There's only so many times we're gonna be covering up our hair. So either it's we're gonna keep protesting, keep speaking out, or these employers are gonna have to start changing their discrimination laws, because the simple fact is there is a law against discrimination in this country, but yet it does not seem to be working. It does not seem to be working for a lot of us, unfortunately. And I'm sorry to say, but when it doesn't work for a lot of us, what I mean is it's not working for us black people, It's not working for us black people. We've been told that we cannot go to have a job because we have locks, or we need to take our box braids out, or we can't go to work with an afro because it's too militant. I mean, who on earth comes up with this bullshit about an afro is too militant? I mean, for God's sake. I mean, most black people here in this country, the UK, what on earth are you talking about being too militant? I mean, honestly, what actually are you talking about? You acting like the whole of us are walking around like the Black Panthers. I mean, the Black Panthers are freaking amazing, but that's for another day, That is for another day. We're not going to go down that road. But I mean, this whole too militant thing, saying to a black woman she's too militant, she's too aggressive, and saying this to black men as well, being too aggressive is I can't even get my words out. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Being too aggressive is a fucking issue. Yeah, sorry to swear, but it's an issue that they keep saying to us all the time. You need to be less aggressive. You need to be less assertive. You need to be less black. You need not to be wearing your natural hair. You need not to be wearing box braids. You need not to be wearing weaves. All this kind of stuff. They're all telling us all this kind of stuff, and like we're just trying to survive in this country basically. Even if we're born here, they're still treating us different. Even if we are born in this country, they're still treating us different. I mean, how much more can we take? At the end of the day, how much more can we take? It's actually becoming a frigging joke now. I mean, even when I was working full time as a healthcare assistant, there was a lot of black women, not just a black women, but the white women as well, making comments about my natural hair. Some of the black women saying to me, "Oh, why don't you just plait your hair down into? You would look so much better and everything anyway." And saying, "Oh, why are you going to work? Why are you going to work with your hair in an afro and all this kind of stuff?" And then the white women putting their hands in my hair, and I'm like, I never said anything because at that time, 2 years ago, I didn't have the sense of self that I have now. So I wasn't able to stick up for myself. I wasn't able to say, well, you know what, I don't appreciate you saying that kind of shit to me, and it gets to you. They say the same shit to you every time you're on freaking shift. They say the same shit to you, and you don't realize how much it gets to you. You don't realize how much it's sinking into your being, and it has an effect on you, and you don't even realize this. And I don't even think half the time they realize what they're actually saying, because they're so westernized that that's just their perspective on you, that you shouldn't be wearing your hair naturally like this, and if you do wear it natural, then it's got to look a certain way. I'm sorry, my hair's 4C, it's not going to look a certain way, But anyway, getting back to this mother who's planning to sue the school, I completely agree with her. I mean, how much more can we frigging take? At the end of the day, it's becoming a frigging joke. Every frigging day you're reading something about black kids being kicked out of school. I mean, it's not just the fact that it's his hair that they have a problem with. They're actually denying him an education that he is entitled to. I mean, isn't this the whole basis of going to school, whether it be Catholic school, a public school or private school? The whole point is to get an education so that you can actually somewhat survive in this country. But education is not just about being in school. Education is just, you can get educated from anything. You don't actually have to be in school to get an education. But the point is, his hair should not be a problem. His hair does not block him from learning. I mean, they said because they want him to cut his hair because apparently they don't like boys with long hair or something along those lines. But the funny thing is, how come it's always black boys or black girls being discriminated against, but these schools, they wouldn't dare say anything. They wouldn't dare say anything to a Sikh. You dare tell a Sikh kid to cut his hair, and you think they wouldn't get their backside sewed off? I mean, really, you think they wouldn't get their backside sewed? And don't even try it with the Jews. No. Yeah. But yet, and definitely not with Muslims, telling them to take their headscarves off. No. But yet with black people, it's always a freaking problem what we do. It's always a problem, and it's really getting on my damn nerves. Whether it be our hair, how we dress, how we talk, it's always a problem for somebody. I mean, like, what is your purpose? What is your purpose if all you're going to do is showcase this blatant racism, which you keep doing all the goddamn time, showcasing this blatant racism every frigging day? And yet, you see, this is a perfect example of how I'm always saying on my blog, on Facebook, on Twitter, Snapchat, whatever, I'm saying, why do people always keep saying that Britain is not racist? Britain is highly racist. Britain isn't racist in the same way that America is racist, but it's racist. Yeah, and this is a perfect example. You keep reading, you keep hearing all these stories, and you mean to tell me that it's not racist? It's not racist because it's always the black kids at the end of the day who suffer. It's always the black kids at the end of the day who suffer. I mean, how much more can they suffer? I mean, really, how much freaking more can they suffer? They're so young, and unless you as a black parent teach them how to survive in this world, they can get lost. And that is the thing. This kid who's been told he cannot go to school unless he cuts his dreadlocks off, even though he and his family are Rastafarians, and it's their belief, their religion, their beliefs and their religions that, you know, men aren't supposed to cut their hair. So I'm just saying, this is just my views anyway. Nobody has to agree with it, but I've not done a YouTube video in a while, so I thought I might as well speak on this because this topic has been really, really pissing me off the past couple of days. So I thought, you know what, let me just speak on it because it's, I mean, come on now, come on, allow us black people to breathe. Allow us to breathe. I mean, you already done it with Brexit already. You've already done it. So, you know, it's just foolishness at the end of the day. Let black people breathe. Let black people wear their hair how they want to wear their hair. It's not bothering you. You can still get an education. You can still do your job properly, no matter how your hair looks. I mean, like I said, I'm a healthcare assistant. So, you know, as long as my hair is off my shoulder and it's not out, it's still fine. It's still fine. It's not bothering you anyway. I mean, like when my hair was a lot shorter than this anyway, I used to put it in an afro, and you know, when it's an afro, it's nowhere near your shoulders anyway. Especially when it shrinks up, it's nowhere near this area, unless your hair is really longer, then it will be down here. But at that time, my hair was not down there. So if I want to relax my hair again, I will do. If I want to wear my hair like this, or in an afro, or a wash and go with no products in it, just let it do what the hell it wants to do. It's not affecting my ability to do my job properly. And this kid and his locks, it's not affecting his ability to grasp what they're trying to teach him in that Catholic school. It is not. So these schools need to wake up. They need to realise it's 2017. You mean to tell me that there's now rules saying that they cannot discriminate against school kids who are transgender, lesbian, gay, etc., but it's okay to discriminate against black people for their religious beliefs and how they choose to wear their hair? Is this what we're doing now? Is this actually what we're doing? So I think these teachers need to get a reality check. These headmasters, these schools, they need to get a reality check. It's 2017. I mean, get with a freaking program, will ya? Because these type of incidents should not be happening in 2017. I believe that racism will always exist when people choose to be this ignorant and backwards. And that's the thing with Britain, it's very, very backwards. I'm not really seeing much progression. We should be seeing a lot more progression in this, but I'm not seeing it. So until they start showing some progress, I'm gonna keep having these same views all the time. Okay? See you next time.